Ken Roczen now has 21 career 450 Supercross wins, tying him for 10th all-time, ironically, with his rival Cooper Webb. But this one, of all of them, he says, ranks the biggest.
Kenny, you've had some milestone comeback wins. How does this one rank in your career?
At the top. I mean, granted, I didn't win for 3 years there after one of the injuries, which was huge. But this one, I don't know. There's a lot of critics out there, and I believe that I could win on the bike, but then to make it happen is also a whole other story, right? So this was unreal. After the last few weekends, especially, it ranks at the very top, I think, especially for my team too. Like that, I've been able to do that a couple of times. I feel like same with RCH, and now here, this is the first win ever for the team. Like that is a huge accomplishment, and yeah, it's one on the top for sure.
And the fans agree with his sentiment. They were going absolutely crazy during the final laps and through the podium celebration at Indianapolis. When Roczen finally returned to victory lane after all those injuries with Honda at St. Louis a couple of years ago, it was exciting, but nothing quite like this. Because this is the first time that Ken Roczen has ever been considered an underdog. This is all because Ken Roczen chose to return to Suzuki, a brand that has not won a race in Monster Energy AMA Supercross since 2016, when Roczen was the rider still winning for the brand back then. And this team, HEP Motorsports, also known as Progressive X-Star or Twisted T Suzuki, has never won a race anywhere. And that's the formula that leads to this type of work ethic. A team that finally has their shot at glory and a rider who's in a must-win situation. This is the path Roczen chose. He put his own back against the wall. He became the underdog. He has to make this work, and hence the long hours, he has shrugged them off and simply said he's engaged with the process and enjoying it no matter how difficult it is. And the team? Well, they brought on Larry Brooks to manage the squad this year. Brooks, a legend as far as managing Jeremy McGrath, Chad Reed, and James Stewart to previous Supercross championships, and he is known as someone who will do absolutely anything for his rider. And that's why, even in the darkest days of trying to get this motorcycle to race-winning status, Roczen never shied away that it was possible that they would get to the top of the mountain. Kenny, with those long days and all the work you were putting in, was there a point where you were starting to doubt it, where you were chasing it so much that you weren't sure you were going to get there? Or tell me what it took to not start thinking that would be the case.
I don't know if doubt is the right word, but we've had so many long weeks and long days. Before Tampa, I rode till like 7 p.m. on Thursday and 5 p.m. on Friday, and then went and raced on Saturday with my hands pretty much bleeding. But it's days like that I felt like I have to go through, and we didn't even find anything that special, but you have to sometimes go through these long days to check things off the list. And it's hard when I've been on the bike since the beginning of December or something like that. So it realistically not that much. Sometimes you take a whole year to really figure it out. But we've tested during the week. We tested on the weekends because I couldn't just settle down with something that wasn't rideable to my max. And so we just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I feel like just in the last week and a half, even before Daytona, I found something that I liked. And I couldn't really show it in Daytona yet. But I was confident that once I had the bike feeling like I want to, I just got to do my laps and believe that we're doing the right things. And obviously we did. So I don't know if I doubted it. It was more so like I had to take a deep breath at one point and kind of let some things go and settle down a little bit and approach things maybe a little bit differently. And I was obviously, for a rider, once you find something where you're like, holy crap, like this is it, like a complete different motorcycle, right? My bike right now feels completely different than it did in the beginning of the season, and that's just what I was looking for.
Roczen maintains that from the moment he got on this Suzuki, he said, I can win on this bike, but it has taken a lot of work and long hours from both him and the team to get there. Brooks, the team manager, says a lot of it was outside the box thinking, but he never gave up hope that they could get it done. He credits a lot of it to new team suspension man, Matt Andruck, who actually was originally introduced to Brooks through teammate Kyle Chisholm. Roczen has gone through a couple different suspension brands throughout this, from Factory Connection and now working with Winters through the team. And Brooks admits that Andruck was willing to try some out-of-the-box ideas that he had never seen tried before in a team, and this time they worked. So a lot of credit goes to Andruck and Chisholm and Brooks and Roczen and everyone else for putting their heads together and getting to this level. Now they've gotten there, the goal is to stay there, with both Brooks and Roczen this week saying they expect only minor tweaks to the motorcycle going forward. Of course, that could potentially mean there's more wins in the offing now that they have the bike where they want it to be, and Roczen should only continue to get stronger now that he can finally go back to focusing on training and putting in motos during the week instead of short testing spurts. But there is still one factor that even Roczen can't deny. This field is tough, and simply expecting one win to lead to another, well, it comes down to luck, starts, and so many other factors. But it also means that getting even one win against this field, on this motorcycle, with this team, well, it rings as an awfully big accomplishment. And both Roczen and the fans at Indianapolis couldn't deny that this was one of the feel-good Supercross stories in the history of the sport.